Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Inside Movies Galore. I'm your host, David Strege, and today I have another review for you of a film sequel of a feature film from 1987, directed by Stephen Hopkins, who had just come off the bandwagon of directing Nightmares on Elm Street, numero 5, and which was called The Dream Child. And this was a film sequel to Predator called Predator 2. It starred Danny Glover, a very young Bill Pullman, Gary Busey, Kevin Peter Hall, um, and Ruben Blades, Maria Conchita Alonso. So Um, so Kevin Peter Hall returns as the Predator in this feature film. In this case, I think this film is kind of somewhat historical as well, because there were a lot of drug wars that were going on in the 90s, and this begins in the beginning of a cartel war that the police are having in downtown LA, and there is a mass fire going between this Mexican cartel and the police. And when Danny Glover's character, by the name of Lieutenant Mike Harrigan, finally backs them up into a building, that's when the Predator drops in and kills all the Mexican cartel, leaving behind traces of it being there. On top of it, there is evidently before Harrigan could even go into the building, he was told that the feds were supposed to go in, but he did not listen. And I like Danny Glover's character in here. He's a hothead. He doesn't listen to anyone but his own instincts, and that's what makes a good police officer. But sometimes it can get you into trouble when you're butting heads with the feds, butting heads with your own captain. But he gets his job done, and that's what counts. The only thing is, he ends up leaving one of his lieutenants, Danny Archuleta, played by Ruben Blades, to meet up with him in the to scope out the place after the feds are gone. And he ends up going there ahead of time. And in the previous film, we didn't see some of the weaponry that this creature had, and that's what I like about this film. You get to see quite a few new arrays of weaponry, including like a metal guillotine, like circular blade that the creature can spin at people. There is a spear that seems to, once it comes full extended, it can shoot out some kind of a devilish two-prong thing, and that's what Danny goes and tries to retrieve, and the creature finds him instead, and basically skins him. And that's the thing about this creature. It has more of a a wild warrior thing about it. It's and it base I like the fact that there was another group of uh, gangsters that have to do with voodoo, and they're actually quite crazy looking. Especially King Willie. King Willie was a character, um, and King Willie was played by Kelvin Lockhart, um, who has played in other films. He played on Twin Peaks, Fire Walk with Me, Coming to America as Colonel Izzy, Wild at Heart as Reggie. There were quite a few films that this character was in, and I think that the thing that I like about this film is that there was I watched. I have a special story with this film. I watched this film on Laserdisc, with a quite much older man who liked his toys, and not only did he have like Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo, PlayStation 2, 3DO. Um, he had all the cool shit, and I was able to go over to his place from time to time, and he had um, many films on Laserdisc, and it was a unique experience, especially being a 14-year-old kid watching that scene you know, in the Mexican cartel where the chick is on top and her titties are flopping, and it's just and then she's ends up naked and being the survivor at the end. I mean, to me, 14-year-old kid seeing pair of boobs, yeah, it's kind of nostalgic. I don't know why. It's something with men. They like seeing nudity. But you know, it's something that I remembered, and it was cool to see in the very end, that spaceship as well. They're bumbling through New York. The creature ends up crashing into this bathroom, and uh, my favorite part in the film is actually where creature is bundles out of the bathroom, and Harrigan crashes through, and he tells the older lady who lives in the place, "Oh, it's okay, I'm a police officer," and she goes back. She talks back to him and says, um, "I don't think he gives a shit," you know, and it's just it was different. It's the lone detective going up against the monster that he doesn't know, and I think him being able to use a weapon of its own against him in the end, and then evidently the other part that I liked is the fact that in the very end, the one of the predators that showed up to show that there were more of them gave him a gun that came from the year 1718, which proved that they've been around a lot longer than anyone has thought. And I like the fact that there was a reference to the previous film in here through Gary Busey. There wouldn't have been a line like the one that he had if there hadn't been the Wizard of Oz. So I mean, the fact that he said lions and tigers and bears, oh my! So I thought the acting in here was definitely cool on all the parts. I liked seeing Adam Baldwin a little bit younger in here. Um, I think one of the parts that I enjoyed was the fact that when Bill Pullman's character tried to hit on Leona Cantrell, um, uh, and she just grabbed his balls. That was kind of cool because I think that it made that her character was strong, and badass. So, in any case, hopefully you've enjoyed my description of this film. I certainly enjoyed um, this film as well. I think the Predator developed really good in this film. You saw more weaponry. Um, you saw what it could more. The fact that it can actually take, and I mean, there were definitely more bodies that it skinned. I think that I will remember that, you know, that one part where you see all the bodies hanging, um, and a Scarface looking like skyscraper condo. You know, I think I will. I think parts of this movie will always reverberate with me. And when I first saw this, it scared the shit out of me. I mean, uh, it's nostalgia more or less. In any case, hopefully you've enjoyed my description of this film. Like and subscribe to my page if you have not. I certainly enjoyed this film. I think other people can enjoy this film, and yeah, it's definitely a different creature. And the thing about these films is they definitely influenced some filmmakers afterwards, and I think one of the filmmakers that it influenced was Albert Pyun, and you could see it in his Nemesis series. Of course, he was also influenced by the Terminator, but um, yeah, definitely check the film out on your own if you have not. And thanks for listening. Have a great day, evening, or morning, wherever you are. And this was put out by 20th Century Fox. So definitely entertaining.